sound mind and body came across a bizarre object in a Mars panorama. While trying to find the location of a discovery made by the late Streetcap 1 from 2012, we came across this panorama. The panorama was taken on Sol 182 and added to the website 360 Cities on November 10th, 2021. At first glance, there is nothing out of the ordinary we can see. But when we zoom in all the way out here, we find this. What on Earth, or should we say Mars, is this? Depending on your point of view, this could either be some kind of object hovering in the Martian sky, projecting a light beam down to the surface, or it could be some kind of giant tower with a transmitter at the top. We know, it sounds crazy, but what else could it be? And before you scream at your computer screens that it's nothing more than a glitch in the photo or a dead pixel, we hear you. But take into consideration why we found it. Remember earlier, we said we were researching another story. Well, back in 2012, the late great Streetcap 1 uploaded a video to his YouTube channel.
Hey guys.
Where he claimed to have found
do I have a
evidence
doozy
of
for you
buildings
today?
located in the very same area, only in a different panorama.
All right, so I just wanted to start it off like that. Y'all give me a second. You can kind of tell I'm moving things around here, trying to pull this mic up. But I got a pretty amazing find for you guys today. I almost felt like that was almost like the intro that Cut to the Chase TV does over there. But anyway, listen, hey, Third Eye. Shout out to everybody who's coming through in the chat. I see y'all. So listen, I'm going to drop a link to this video. That is to Sound, Mind, and Body. I swear, I think I've seen every single video that they have ever done. Probably really up there, with Art Alien TV and Secure Team. I definitely keep my eyes on this particular channel, but I have a pretty amazing find here. Really, this is something we've actually talked about before. Now, I dropped a link again to that video. Check it out when you get a chance, because that is pretty amazing, isn't it? Whatever that is. To be honest, you guys, I know many people have different theories on what is going on over there on the red planet, right? I guess it would be the fourth rock from the sun, I know that everybody has their own theories and all that sort of a thing. I enjoy I enjoy hearing people's take on what they see when they're, analyzing and reviewing those gigapans, right? That or photos, that come from Mars. That some of these people, they put in a lot of hard work, a lot of selfless work. Okay, um, to put those gigapans together. Some of those gigapans, we're talking like the amount of images that goes into one of those gigapans. It's a lot of work. Okay. And I, for one, I just want to let you guys know thank you. Thank you for all of the hard work that you guys do in stitching those photos together, those gigapans, so that we, the public, okay, or even you, even the people that stitch them together, can actually, go through these photos um, in a much better type of way, right? So, you've seen the title, right? More proof of something growing on the rovers on Mars. And this is something that I have talked about before. Okay. I'm going to close this off and we're going to kind of explore here on some of these panoramas. There, there is something that I picked up. It's been, again, I'm not like some of you guys, but I have been looking at these images for a few years now. And I enjoy it. It's a pastime, honestly. I can't tell you how many nights or whatever that I go to sleep actually looking at this stuff, right? But no, it's been a topic that I've been very interested in for quite some time. And with that, okay, with all of the viewing of images, okay, I have picked up a pattern, so to speak. Um, there is a pattern, I believe, and now I'm not saying this accounts for everything that's happening on the red planet. Okay, I'm not a scientist by any stretch of the imagination, um, but there is a pattern to this. And let me pull this up just a little bit closer here. There we go. There is a pattern to this, and what I have called Mars ivy or rock ivy, followed up by the phrase, quote, "What if the rocks are alive?" End quote, right? What if they're not really rocks that we're even looking at? What if it's just some sort of a material? Just looks like that, right? We don't know. But on each rover, and I challenge all of you senior researchers to double check me. Okay, feel free. I've actually did a couple of lives on this particular topic. We actually even identified. Okay, I'll show you. We actually identified quite some time back something, okay, on the rovers, but it's not on just one, it's on every single one of these rovers. If you actually go back, you actually take your time and you go back and you look at a lot of those selfie photos that NASA likes to release. Have you ever wondered why? Why are they into those selfie photos? Wouldn't they taking like one per day per rover or something like that? But those selfie photos, um, they also show something else. I know NASA has said, of course, they use those selfie photos to look at the equipment, make sure everything seems to be in working order, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's fine. That's fine. Um, but there's something else to it. And I believe what that something else is that there is some sort of growth or whatever you want to call it, okay? I know by saying growth, that would also mean that there's potential life on Mars, right? She can't have something growing or beginning of something growing without there being potential life. So, hey, call it what you want, okay? But there is a growth on these rovers, and I've picked it up on each and every single one of them. And it's geometric in fashion. And I don't understand why, but it is. Every single piece of growth that I have found There is a geometric nature to it. It's almost like you could put your pen down, okay, and draw and never have to pick it up. Like you just keep going and going. It's like growth, it duplicates, it connects, and then it grows. Duplicates what was there before, it connects, and while it gets, I think it gets bigger. Okay. I'm going to show you an example. All right. Give me a sec of what we found on the rover, in particular, this. This is a photo I have out there on Behance. I think I posted this last year sometime when I really, really, really started picking up on this pattern, right? And honestly, the way that I picked this pattern up, to be honest, was looking at the selfie photos. I don't know why, but I got stuck looking at these selfie photos, right? And as I'm looking at these selfie photos, I started noticing that, man, NASA sure is blurring out a lot of. Then I sort of picked up, oh, wait, what is that? Wait, what is that? And then I decided that I would go check Spirit. And I found the same like pattern to this, whatever you want to call this. What you're looking at on the screen right there, okay? It's my little friend. Say hello to my little friend. Now, I pulled this off of, this was Curiosity, I believe. Maybe it was, I'd have to go back and double check. I can tell you it was Soul MSL 100. It was the nav cam. Don't remember which one, okay? I think it was either Perseverance or Curiosity. I'll follow back up on that. There is a growth, or maybe this is what they have as life on Mars. Listen, I don't know. But you see what I see, right? Very clear, right? You can even see the pupil there. And this, like I said, is happening on all of the rovers. Okay, I've caught this on all of them. And like I said, the growth is the same every time. And I'm going to show you a clear example of that. Now, one of the beautiful things about these selfie photos and of the older photos that NASA has released is that Photoshop wasn't what it was 5 years ago, right? It wasn't what it was 10 years ago, right? So you may find things in these photos that NASA did not necessarily pick up back then, right? The other little trick is, okay, you want to Photoshop? All right. You want to blur things, you want to hide things. Okay. We really, to be honest, it was your blurring, okay, and all your Photoshop work that actually pointed me down this direction. So by looking at the things that you're doing to the image, you're telling me where to look, right? And that helped me when I went back and I looked at some of the older photos, right? But NASA, I can't tell you any clearer that the public can take it. Okay. We can deal with the potential fact that there is life on Mars. Okay. It's okay. Just like it's okay for people, people are sort of coming to the realization and the idea that there is potential aliens that live here on Earth. Maybe they don't come here from Earth. Maybe they don't live here. I don't know. They say some do, but there is other species or forms of life, okay? That is not human. That is something else. So is it so far-fetched when you were landing rovers on Mars, okay, and we're driving across the valleys, dunes, and all this sort of a thing? Is it so difficult to believe that there is potential life there? Let me show you what I got. All right. This is Perseverance. This is a slew of Perseverance gigapans. Now, again, the reason I showed of Sound, Mind, and Body there is because it was because of Sound, Mind, and Body that I discovered 360 cities. Okay. And what I discovered in 360 Cities was a list or link of gigapans from the Perseverance rover. And Perseverance is the most recent rover that was launched back in 2020. Something actually I was excited for at least like 2 years before it launched. I even contributed to getting my name etched on this thing, even on the seismograph that we have on Mars. So or NASA was taking names, okay, and they etched the names of those submitted in certain code form. Anyway, not that any of y'all care about that. It's just kind of a geeky thing, all right? If you ever looked at these Mars rover photos and said to yourself that it was just really weird how it looks very geometric, right? Almost even here with this, with the camera, this portion of the rover. I know that you sometimes look at this and you're like, man, it looks like some box head thing with two eyes looking at me. Cause it may be that. I believe there is a growth. I think that when these rovers land, you know, um, it's almost like how seeds are in the wind, right? Pollination and all that sort of a thing. I even noticed growth on um, when the rovers were when they landed. And of course, there's excess garbage, so to speak, right, from the landing or whatnot. Uh, the Perseverance rover sat in that area that it landed in for quite some time. And if you actually go back and look at the photos, just let your eyes relax, you will notice the same geometric type growth, even on that landing material. So here is a very, very clear cut. NASA, obviously, they did not blur this out. I don't know why, but they did not. As you can see, right? Just take a look. Do you see it? You'll see right here on the left where my mouse is, right? It's coming out almost like a TV, right? You see it here, and you see it over here. Check it. Look at that. That is also a similar growth to this, but it's just out on the other side. And again, this is all over the rover. You may not see it. They may be photoshopping it. Sometimes they blur it out. They do a whole lot of really weird, crazy things. I've seen a whole lot of imagery tricks that they've done. It's actually really deplorable jobs, if you want me to be honest with you. Um, and again, I don't think you would even really, unless you really look at these images, you may not even know or understand what you're looking at. So it may take a more seasoned person to pick this up. But you clearly see, even here in the front, you can see that, right? Um, Look at the pattern of it, right? Very similar, almost reminded me of what I seen in Of Sound Mind and Body's video of that really tall. It looks like you could see something at the top, but in between the ground and the top of whatever that is, it almost looks like it was strung together with strong string or something. But if you pick this up in your mind, the more you start looking at these images, you will pick up this growth I'm talking about. And it's geometric and it's the same pattern every time. But again, we have some here, as you can see. You'll even see here, right? It's sticking out and it almost looks like there's two eyes at the top, but looking up, right? Let me show you something else really interesting. Again, there's also growth here at the front, but you can see NASA tried to take it out here. But you can see it. You can see it. Let me show you something else. Say hello to my little friend over here. And then say hello to my little friend down here. Give me a second. Let's go say hello to this little guy, huh? Hey there. Hey, little lizard looking guy. How you doing? Hey there. How you doing, sir? You look at him looking right at the camera. Almost looks like a bullet head. But you know what else I see? I see not only this head here with the two eyes, but it looks like it's sitting on top of another head with two eyes. And that's the one thing I've noticed in these rovers or with these photos that have come out from Mars is there's never just one. There's always, it almost looks like a head connected to a head connected to a head. I don't know how to describe it except just to say it that way. But say hello. Hey, little guy. What are we going to name him? I'm going to name him Sam. There's a couple of very interesting things you may or may not pick up in this image, but if you look at where my mouse is, if you really look close, just let your eyes relax, you'll see there's and actually there's another gigapan, okay, that has you can actually see the same thing except it's positioned a little bit different. It is what it is. But it's a head, two eyes, and two very slim looking legs there. That doesn't appear to be a torso to me. The other very interesting tip that I will tell you is look at the shadows. The shadows are very, very interesting. Sometimes the shadows, you can tell what's on the rovers just from looking at the shadows. I mean, if you just follow where my mouse is, even right now, look at that. And that's what I'm talking about. There is something very clearly fastened or connected to this. Okay. This may not even be a piece of the rover. To be honest with you, I have found several areas where NASA almost makes it look like it's a part of the rover, but it's not. You'll actually look at these and you'll see like ends that shouldn't be there, that sort of a thing. But if you look really close, you can actually see that head there with two eyes, and it has like a straight body, and then it comes back and it connects, right? But then look here, and then look here. Look at where my mouse is. Look at where my mouse is. Say hello. Hey, little guy. Maybe we'll call him Bullet. And then look here. Use your magnifying glasses. Again, this growth, it's geometric, but it's like there's always like a head on top of a head connected to another head. And you can actually see two eyes right here. One eye connected. It's almost like it's just a head, then legs. It's like there is no torso, whatever this is. But you can actually see even in the shadow, right? And then look here. I mean, what is that, right? It's not a part of the rover. But anyway, I encourage you guys to get your magnifying glasses and look for yourself. But I think that's a pretty open photo there. I mean, it's pretty obvious that's like some sort of, it almost looks like a lizard, doesn't it? Notice that one eye looks a little bit longer than the other. But this particular gigapan has a lot going on. Again, what got, I always start here at the top, but again, look, I mean, it's whatever this is. Again, I kind of refer to it as Mars ivy, a rock ivy. You guys know how ivy can just grow, and grow. It sort of reminds me of that. Because again, I have found this on every single rover. If you actually go back and look at the selfie photos, you'll see what I mean. And on every single rover, you will find growth like this, exactly like that. It's going to be, box shape coming out the side or whatever. And as we sort of traverse in this gigapan, you actually can see, this looks like we got a little friend right here. And right here, you can actually see both eyes. And here's the other very interesting thing. it's not going to be just this block here that's going to grow. There's going to be something that's going to come and extend out of it, and it's going to duplicate. And then that duplication is going to grow. Then it's going to extend out, and then it's going to duplicate. It's like clockwork every single time. And if you actually, there's a few gigapans, you can actually go look, you will see this growth. Just even notice, right? Look at here. Why does that seem out of place to you? This right here where my mouse is. Why does that seem out of place to you? Because that doesn't really exist. NASA, okay, did a Photoshop job here. Really, what you see that's sticking out looking like a block, well, what shape does that remind you of? Oh, well, looky there. It's the same shape. Just like how these are sticking out like a block almost. Same thing. Again, I am 1,000% confident in what I'm saying because I've picked this up on several of these selfies, right, with these rovers. NASA, I think the world can accept, that there is, potential, it's okay. You don't have to like keep photoshopping stuff out. I mean, just take a look at that. If it seems out of place, that's because it is. So again, let me show you some other very interesting areas that I found. Hold on, let's go say hi to Bullet again. Hey Bullet, how you doing, buddy? It almost looks like there's a little mushroom head holding another guy like on his shoulders. You know how us human beings, someone smaller than us, like get on our shoulders and they lift us up. That's kind of what that reminds me of. But I digress. There's a few more areas. For one, take a look at these chords, these so-called chords that listen, that does not come from NASA. All right. You can actually see here. This is another example of the growth as well, like the way that it latches on. Okay. Um, it latches on, like I said, that is the duplication extension. I'm going to duplicate and grow, that I'm going to extend, but it has to hold on to something. And that's what I've noticed is that you will see, things, it wraps itself around very securely, I might add. Um, and there are so many spots, I'm not kidding you guys, that NASA has tried to replace like geometric type things to cover this stuff, right? Like cords that go nowhere, right? Like, why are we doing this, NASA? Why can't you just let the photos come out, right? But whatever. This is another example of how that growth, so to speak, how it holds on to whatever it's connected to. It again, it like wraps itself around like a zip tie. Oh, well, looky there. Hello. Look at that. There's another example of the growth, but this time you're actually looking down on it. So remember what we were looking at before when I was showing you, I'm going to actually show you again here, but it was almost like it was looking up, right? This part right here, over here, this part, this growth. It almost looks like there's eyes looking up to the sky. Same here, right? If you actually count the holes, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Well, lucky for us, NASA missed this. So you can actually see it pretty clear. It almost looks like a block of Swiss cheese sitting on top of skinny legs. And as you can see, it's, white. It looks like it's connected to the side there. But again, those skinny legs, that's what connects, okay, and wraps itself around these various parts of the rover, and then it just keeps duplicating itself all over the rover. I suspect if the rover's not knocking this stuff off, it almost reminds me of mushrooms. You know how fast mushrooms come up and grow? Or what if this is that form of life on Mars where we're literally looking at stick legged matter, stick leg matter, matter or type of being that has very thin stick legs. You know that's not part of the rover. And for you pros out there who have been doing this for a long time, you know how good of a find that is right there. Keep your eyes on that. Again, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 holes. Oh, it looks like I can see a kind of a pupil right here in this one. But this may be what life looks like on Mars. Again, you know as well as I do, especially for you pros out there watching the Perseverance rover, you know this is not part of the rover. So what is it, right? And even if it isn't a being or an alien type being like you would think, it could potentially be some form of life on Mars. Again, I liken it to ivy, the plant, because ivy just grows like crazy. It grows like nuts, and it duplicates all over the place. I mean, you can grow ivy fairly quickly, and as you can see there, our little stick legs. The top looks just like we were looking at. If you actually even look here right in front, you can actually see the same thing. It's just, even NASA tried to kind of play with us here with the burnout, but you can tell by looking at this area, it doesn't look normal or right. When you see stuff like this with NASA, it's a lot easier for them. Here's another example. Hi, guy. Hey there. When you see stuff like this, it's a guarantee. NASA can has the ability to basically they can copy and paste things that are geometric because again, this growth is like geometric in nature. Now, there's one more piece that I want to show you. Man, it's like the more I look at this photo, the more I even see in it. But again, if you ain't following up or following, what I'm saying, I'm just going to show this piece one more time here. We've got growth on this side of the rover sticking out, and we've got growth on this side of the rover sticking out. And it's clear that, it has very thin little type appendages of legs, okay? And if you look down here, NASA thankfully missed this as well. And we can see from the top down exact similar type growth right here on the rover, on the Perseverance. So, in all the years of looking at rocks on Mars, so to speak, have you ever seen one that looked like that? No, you have not. Only time I've ever seen this has been on these rovers, of whatever like growth you want to call it. Again, I liken it to like mushrooms or something. And if you kind of look at this shadow too, you get the sense of look how fake that Photoshop job is right there. Look at that. Look at NASA. Look at old NASA. Why do you think they're having to Photoshop that stuff out? Look at the shadow. Do you see what I see? It's not just this little guy here. There's another little offshoot to the side, right? And I guess that's supposed to be this, with this odd shape. But the truth is, if you really start looking really closely at this, you'll realize that this is some sort of copy and paste job by NASA. So fine. If you want me to take this as the shape for this shadow, then fine. What is this right here? Again, it's like a blockhead on legs. There is no torso really. You can actually see that in the shadow, which is pretty damn amazing, eh? Don't get it twisted. All right. Don't get it twisted. Even if you look above these shadows or whatever, don't get it twisted by the fake Photoshop jobs. This here is not part of the shadow for this. First of all, it's too far over. As you can see, there's a little bit of strangeness going on in this area, huh? Because it is strange. All right. So yeah, man, I've gotten really used to looking at these selfie photos. They have been everything. If you look at it like in the grand scheme of things, growth isn't really too big compared to the rover. But I can tell you this on the, I believe it was opportunity or curiosity. It may have been opportunity. Actually, it may have been either opportunity or spirit. I had caught same exact thing, growth. I've talked about it in a previous video, but that growth had gotten so big and so thick that there was one photo where you could actually see that it had sort of fell forward and fell over. Um, and again, you can go back in the previous videos and find that if you'd like. Um, Let me just a sec here. Yes, this was another very interesting spot. If you actually look at this, you can tell NASA also tried to pull a Photoshop job off here. Actually you see that hanging down. You just really start looking close. You'll start seeing things as you work your way up and down these rovers. Pretty amazing. This area here has been a pretty useful one. This is where I got the screenshot of our little friend that I showed you guys earlier. You'll also notice in every single selfie, rover selfie, there's always something very strange going on here. And again, that growth is like geometric in nature. I don't know. It's kind of strange. But again, a pole that goes nowhere. That's not a pole that goes nowhere. This is actually whatever you want to call this, okay? But this is some sort of growth, all right? And again, remember what I said, it like grows, duplicates, connects, grows, duplicates, connects. I have noticed that in some of this growth, that extension that comes out that ends up duplicating, then connecting, then growing, then duplicating, it's like comes out of the front in between the two eyes, okay? Listen, I'm not crazy. Just take the information for what you will. But if you actually look really close, you can actually see you can actually see it here. If you look really close, you can tell that NASA tried to remove that. But anyway, I digress. I don't want to oversell this. Okay. Not trying to oversell it. And if you take a look, some other very interesting areas with Perseverance too is the back area and this area. This is growth. I don't know what NASA is doing, okay, to it, but I actually showed this also in a previous video where we could very clearly see almost looks like little bullet was sitting on top of it saying hello. Looked almost like a little lizard sitting up there. So again, that is a Photoshop job. This is growth. It just looks normal there. But again, you will see growth towards the back of these rovers and down the inside of them there. And again, you'll definitely want to, we got poles that go nowhere, okay? Wires that go nowhere. We even got wires that go nowhere, right? When you see stuff that just it just don't make sense, like this here and this here, that's because it really doesn't make sense. Now, I've got one more pretty amazing GigaPan I'm going to show you before I end it. I don't want to oversell this here, but here I'm going to let you guys look at our little friend here while I get this other GigaPan. All right. And while you're looking at our little friend bullet down here, notice up here, right? Big head, stick legs. Again, you can actually see it if you really look close. You guys look here while I'm pulling up this other GigaPan. Give me a sec. Oh, shout out to the chat, guys. Sorry, I haven't even looked at the chat. Hey, Queen. Hey, Third Eye. Hey, Heaven Sent. Hey, guys. Thanks for coming through. I really appreciate you guys. That's awesome. Coming through on the Mars Anomaly streams, right? All right. Now, what I'm about to actually show you is going to be pretty interesting, okay? And it will remind you of that's probably why I'm saying bullet head, okay? Because that's what this thing looks like. Give me just 1 second here. I think I actually did I take a screenshot of that? Hold on. Photos. Let me see if I think I took a screenshot. Just want to get that soul. Yes, I did. Yay. Are you kidding me? I didn't. Oh, I gotta love that. So it looks like when I took the screenshot, the soul number isn't extended out. So I can't quite tell. Let me see if I can pick it up real quick. Hold on. Maybe I'll just, actually, you know what? I'm just going to upload this photo and I'll show you that way. And I'll come back later with the GigaPan information. How's that work? That actually sounds like a better idea. So stand by. And you guys say hello to my little friend Bullet. Almost looks like a lizard. Almost looks like a lizard's looking up at us saying, hey, what you doing, girl? What you doing? All right, uploading this photo now. I'll show you something very interesting. All right. All right, we're just going to overlay it here. Check this out. So if you look at this photo, again, I can't tell what the soul is on this one because I took the screenshot and it wasn't extended, but I've actually got the tab still open in my Chrome browser, but I did take a screenshot and this is the side, okay, of the Perseverance Rover. There is something hanging off the side. Almost looks like a bullet head. It's a very, very interesting, like whatever it is. And again, you get to looking at these images, right? Time after time after time, like this is not the first time that I have come across this interesting bullet head looking thing, right? Again, it's almost like ivy, almost like the plant ivy that can grow anywhere, just continues to duplicate and grow and duplicate and grow. That is what it gives me. Okay. But that is a screenshot of I'm just calling it ivy. Okay, Mars rock ivy for right now, with some sort of very strange something. Okay, that makes no visual sense. um, Hush, Queen. There is no telling. When I came across in this particular image with, like our little lizard friend here, all right, and then our little like lizard looking friend here where he's got like this huge head, but he's got stick legs. And then seeing that NASA for some reason did not blur out this whatever this is. Um, it is very clear to me. I mean, again, if you look at it, all right, you're getting like a side angle shot, but lucky for us, all right. And again, this is extending out from the rover. Lucky for us, NASA somehow missed this. And they didn't get this one. So we are looking down on you see, I halt because I don't know what to call it. But again, like, you just keep looking at the rover selfies and you will see it. You will pick up on the pattern. But this here is by far the best evidence I've been able to gather so far of whatever you want to call this. Okay. Again, I refer to it as Mars ivy or rock ivy. Okay. It could just be some sort of being on stick legs. It could be looking up at us. And again, pay attention to the shadows. Very interesting. Again, blockhead on stick legs. And this stuff gets bigger. It actually grows bigger. It will continue to get bigger and bigger. And that's why I'm very interested in looking at rover photos over a progression, over a period of time. And I have been taking initiative to do that. And I'm telling you, there's a whole bunch of times I'll come in here and look, the bolts don't line up right. I mean, what are we doing here, right? Come on. It's very plain to see. Why would NASA feel the need to Photoshop out bolts? It must be nice that you can hide a lot of this stuff using, round circles, or square or rectangular parts, because again, the one thing too is that this whatever you want to call this, it is geometric in nature. Look at the front of this. Look at that. Look at the front. It almost looks like the same, doesn't it, as the top of this, doesn't it? If you actually get to looking at this, you sort of realize that something ain't right here, right? Something don't look right. For one, we got bolts on top of bolts. We got bolts. Look at that. Look at that. They're just magically. The front of that looks like the side of that. Here's another example of this growth. Call it what you want. Okay, again, I'm just referring to it as Mars ivy or rock ivy. Look in there. Hello. Hey there, little buddy. Hey, buddy. All right. I bet you if you look inside them tires in that Perseverance Rover, before it shipped out to Mars, I bet you this ain't there. I'll bet you $100 right now. This here was not there. It's not part of the rover. So listen, I don't want to kill you guys in digesting this information. Okay. No, it's a lot. And for some of you, if you've never actually really, really studied these images, you may be sitting there like, I don't see what you see. Okay, well, Take your time. All right. Look at what you want to look at and then get out of the way. I need the seasoned folks to come through. All right. Take a look at this stuff. There's another just example of the growth here. Again, this whole area, guys, there's growth coming off of this thing. So, I mean, again, we got cords and wires that go nowhere, bolts on top of bolts, okay? Metal bent in weird ways, you know, not looking normal. Or, I mean, here's another example, right? Right here. I bet you if you look at a panorama photo from like Sol 001 or before this thing even left Earth, you'll be able to pick up the differences. But anyway, NASA is most definitely, using copy and paste jobs, um, using geometric type shapes that, you know, fit what they need at that moment. But yeah, love the fact that this got missed though. I love it. So take note. Anyway, y'all, shout out to everybody in the chat. Much love. Well, looky there. Hey, Dolly. Good to see you. Good to see you, chick. I was wondering how you were doing. I hope everybody has a fantastic night. Listen, let me drop a link to this panorama. Again, this is out there on 360 cities. And again, I wouldn't have known about this. This one is panorama. This is Sol 0198. And again, within the body of this, I'm going to drop a link to this in the chat. If you actually look in the body, there is a link to like a list of the Perseverance panoramas, right? Yeah, here we go. I'm going to copy this into the chat for those of you who may get a little bit interested. You can actually go and even look. Just take your time and take a look. You'll see what I'm talking about. And if you'd like, we can always follow back up at a later time. So, again, shout out to everybody in the chat. Much love to everybody who came through on the Mars Anomaly channel. We're going to continue to perform our research and whatever you want to call it. But you guys make sure you take a look at the home tab under the channel. You'll see a list of all my channels, and make sure you subscribe as well to our LeakU and leaku.com brand channel. So, y'all, I'm out of here. All right. Much love, everybody. Until next time.